motherfuckers. This is We Have Concerns. Hi, Jeff Canada.
Hi, Anthony Carboni.
Hello, concerned citizens. You're a big VR guy. Are you still a big VR guy still?
I am. Yeah, I still believe in it. I still use it frequently. Yeah, I'm still the last guy in the world who's like really all in on it.
Yeah,
me and Zuck, I guess.
I actually sent you a thing on an Etsy thing that I saw.
Yeah, and I bought it.
Yeah, a little aftermarket thing for your Apple Vision Pro, because you're an Apple Vision Pro owner, and there's nothing you can do to change that. I mean, you could sell it, but you're still somebody who bought it and kept it for a very long time.
It's not something I'm proud of at this point.
No.
Yeah.
Can you play regular VR stuff on that yet? Is there a way to?
No.
God, no. There's no way to just plug it in and no. Gross.
Nope.
That would be disgusting.
Nope. Although they keep saying that they're supposedly going to support the PSVR controllers, but that was supposed to happen by the end of last year and still hasn't. So
cool.
I don't know.
Cool, because you're also one of 3 people that owns the new PSVR.
Yeah.
That second one that they made.
I got that.
Well, you know, I've dabbled in the VR, and I think one of the things that's when you get down to what's really the most compelling about this, we're trying to recreate sensory experiences, right?
That's right.
We're trying to use technology, the internet, video cards, cobalt mined by children in the third world.
All the good stuff.
All the good stuff. We don't call it the third world anymore. It's a developing nation. I apologize for that. But this is what we're doing, is we're trying to send sensory information to one another. Like one of the things that you told me you use your VR headset for is you really love the 3D videos that you can walk around in afterwards or whatever.
I do. Yeah. Yeah.
You got those. It's real. You've got a real Black Mirror life going on over there where your children actually need something from you, but you're sitting on your headset watching their last birthday.
That's right. I'm like
and they're like,
I'm
Dad,
like the minority.
I'm right here.
That's right. I'm Tom Cruise in Minority Report, except my children are alive and well and literally in the other room waiting for me.
Yeah.
But I would prefer to think of them encased in amber.
Yeah, they were so beautiful.
Like VR.
You say they were so beautiful. You say out loud in front of them. Well, you know, the 3D visual sense and the auditory sense, that stuff's easy. We've got that stuff down pat, Jeff. We've had 3D movies since the 50s. We've had we've had surround sound and all this stuff. Visual and audio we can do, and we can do so well. But Jeff, do you ever feel like your other senses are just getting the short shrift?
Sure. Yeah. Give me the smell-o-vision, taste-o-matic, touch. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I don't know if those are necessary, but maybe.
Maybe. Well, a new company, some scientists that are, I would imagine, are forming a company very soon in the journal Science Advances. This is out of the good old US of A.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, it's our last science advance before we stop doing that.
That's right. Well, you can take a listen and tell me how advanced you think it is. I think it's very cool, but you know, over the last few weeks, we've covered people from other countries that are curing their own cancer, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to. We're not going to help anymore.
No, but the U.S. has created e-taste.
E-taste. We did it. We finally did it. And I hate it. Is this a peripheral that I have to lick, Anthony?
No, Jeff, you don't have to lick it. It simply stays in your mouth.
Okay.
It simply stays in your mouth.
Right.
A bit like if a popsicle was wired to your computer and didn't melt.
Somehow you made it worse.
Yeah.
I thought licking was peak bad, but no. We found a way.
You shove it in your mouth, almost as though somebody was attempting to stop you from biting your own tongue off during an ill-advised electric shock therapy from the middle of the last century.
It's like, you know, what if video games, but also going to the dentist?
That's right. And bad and worse than both. Here's look. I hate to say it, but this story was sent in by Z Mansfield.
hey, why do you hate to say it? He's the Mansfield.
Synergy Mansfield.
Z does it again.
It's, but here's the thing, Jeff. I feel like we've gotten into a situation where we've got a few people who are just sweeping. And I want to make it clear to everyone that if you've seen any cool science stuff, anything where you're like, oh, this is amazing, people need to know about this, you can always head to the Discord. That's the preferred way to do it. That's the way Z did it. Head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns to get access to that. You can email us at wehaveconcernshow@gmail.com, and you can scream it into a well. I would say that you could go to the Reddit or tweet at us or Blue Sky or whatever, but listen, shh, baby, shh. Baby,
the well.
Please.
Consider the well.
Consider the well. Consider the long, dark abyss before you consider any form of social media. But Z Mansfield sent this in, and this is... They say it's they want to enhance virtual reality and augmented reality systems, boosting immersive experiences.
Of course.
It could also prove useful for biomedical research or even, according to the team, quote unquote, virtual food adventures.
Virtual food adventures. Get that cooking mama into VR, right, baby?
That's right. Get that Veggie Tales. You ever wanted to bite a Veggie Tail?
Sure.
You ever just look at that? You ever look at that smug broccoli in the Veggie Tales and go,
I'm going to eat you.
Your floret is mine. Your floret is mine.
But like, what's even the point of eating them if you can't taste them? You know?
That's right. And that's what this is here for. That's what this is here for. They say, look, immersive gaming, online shopping, remote education. You know how much taste-based education there is.
That's the really where we're letting our youth down right now is taste-based initiatives.
Look, a lot of people are worried about our math and science scores here in the US, but I say, what about our taste scores? What about our nation's palate? And listen, this is starting as a joke, but let's get real. Our nation has a shitty palate.
It's true.
I would rate us slightly above England, and that's about it. I think we have
below Germany.
Oh, for sure below Germany. Look, I'm going to be very honest here. I'm not very proud of us in terms of food. We have some foodies. We have a foodie culture. We have a culture of high class, but that's different. That's aspirational kind of wealth based culture.
Edge cases.
We don't have the good home cooking anymore.
Right.
We don't have that sort of, because we're all trapped in the capitalist machine. We don't have time.
That's right.
And because of that, now all we want are the chicky nugs. And I love a chicky nug.
I could go for a chicky nug right now.
Dude, you say chicky, I don't even say the potatoes that they come with. The potatoes that are like in stick form. I don't talk about it because if I even say it, I cause a Pavlovian response in myself.
What if you could put some machine in your mouth and taste one right now?
Jeff, I'm so glad you asked. How would such a machine work? You might wonder. What would we do? I would
wonder.
How would this happen? And you might be thinking, as I was thinking when I first saw this article, I was thinking to myself, Anthony, this must be something that uses pure electricity or energy of some kind, right? Pure electromagnetic energy on the different areas of your tongue to stimulate the different tastes. I was like, they must have found a way to do it. Much as like you can touch a haptic button and it feels like you're pushing a real button.
Right.
No, my friend, this thing is full of 5 goops.
Oh no, it just secretes goops into your mouth?
It secretes the goops onto your tongue.
Goop combos?
It's a goop secreter, my dear boy.
Have we literally found the base goops that can form any taste?
Now, what if I told you that's what I'm the most interested in about this? The 5
what's that
base
old
goops.
What's the old what's that book? Salt.
Sugar, fat, salt, heat. like whatever.
Yeah, is that what we're talking here? Is that the 5 goops?
Yeah, and the 5th one is heart. It turns out it was heart all along, Jeff.
Oh, the 5th one is love.
That's right. When there was only 4 goops, that's when 1 goop was carrying you, and you're very slimy now. The 5 taste chemicals, which are mixed before delivery.
Sure. Sure, you wouldn't want them to be mixed after delivery.
No, you want it to come to you. You want to look. You know how sometimes you eat an instant meal or like a fast food meal or something, and like 2 ingredients that were supposed to mix simply didn't mix right. Yeah. You know, or you make like a microwavable thing, and somehow like all the salt's in one bite in the middle.
Yeah. Do you remember when McDonald's invented the maple syrup crystal?
Mm-hmm.
And it would just be a pancake with maple syrup crystals in it, and you'd have like a bite of pancake and then a bite of crystal, and you were like, "Oh fuck, yeah, I'm awake now,"
because some kid didn't griddle the crystal right.
That's right,
because they weren't paying that kid enough to griddle the crystal right. Look, there are 5 goops expertly mixed before they reach your taste receptors.
Sure,
and these 5 goops, Jeff, these are the proto goops. These are the proto goops. Each of you mix any of these goops together, and you've got literally any food. First, I'm going to give you 2 of them. And you see if you can give me.
See if I can choke them down.
Yeah, see if you can guess like a third one. I'll give you one of the weird ones and one of the ones that you would guess. And then
proto goops. Here we go.
So one of the goops is magnesium chloride, which magnesium chloride gives you that bitter taste, right?
Right. Okay.
Okay. And then one of the goops is, of course, glucose.
Sure. Sugary, sweet.
Yeah. Can you guess one of the other goops?
There's got to be a salty one.
There is. It's pure sodium chloride.
Okay. There you go.
Right. And then for your sour, you have citric acid.
Okay.
And then your 5th one, that's glutamate, baby. That's the umami goop.
Umami goop.
That's you take the monosodium out and you just leave the glutamate.
Just flavor country.
That's right. So the team.
So it really is. I mean, it really is that what I was talking about. The salt, fat. It is that's the basic building blocks of cuisine.
We think that even the most sensitive palates of Germany, as you brought up,
yes,
can be broken
the
down.
Paragon of flavor in the world.
When we think about flavor country, we think about Germany, and all their various schnitzel based
sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Yes.
German food's not too bad though.
No, I like a schnitzel.
But even the most sensitive palate can be fooled by just the proper delivery of these 5 different goops.
I'm imagining a situation where I'm, in virtual reality, and I pick up a hamburger and I raise it to my mouth with my controller, and then I get just a jolt, just a squirt of goop in the back of my throat.
That's right. That's Extreme Gamer Burger. What you just ate is Extreme Gamer Burger. If we could add a 6th, if I may add now,
Burger Time VR.
That's right. If I may add a 6th goop.
Okay.
A pure protein paste.
Just make it chewable.
Just so it has like when you eat that burger.
Texture. Yeah.
When you eat that burger, Jeff, it's not just flavor of burger. You actually get a little sustenance from that. And then you can simply never leave your virtual reality as you've always wanted.
We just have a burger? I don't know.
Is that a crazy thought?
Just go out and have a burger.
What if I wanted to? What if I am here in my studio, and you're over there in your studio in Colorado, and we want to share a burger together, and we want to know what it is like to taste burgers together, Jeff, as friends.
Put this machine in your mouth.
Yes. You wouldn't want to have a burger with me if I was like Jeff.
I would love to have a burger with you.
Right? But we can't.
Let's have a burger.
We'd love to. We can't just go out and have a burger.
Yeah.
Then what? We're in 2 separate places. That's not what this is about. So, I want you to know that the team also adds that the system allows flavors to be delivered to specific regions of the tongue.
How does that work?
I imagine, and this is going to sound gross, so
Oh, more than we've achieved so far.
I'm not at gross yet. I get that you're at gross. I'm not there.
All right.
Remember, I have a very different relationship to food than you do.
Yes, that is for sure. Yeah. Which actually, though, based on what I know about you, I feel like this is not what you want.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to say. I really have to investigate my own. I have to investigate my own beliefs quite often these days. I would imagine that you put this thing in your mouth, and I would imagine, like I said, it looks like a popsicle or a paddle, not like a single popsicle, but a double popsicle, right? So I imagine you put it in your mouth, and then it's covered with different places where the fluids can be delivered. Because we're saying goop, but it's really more of like a fluid.
Yeah. And little holes that
little tiny holes, and they can send certain mixtures to certain, like maybe it's something where they pick 12 to 15 different zones, and they send different mixes of different flavors to different zones, and that all comes together to be a calzone in your mouth. They're trying to find out through research which zone is the calzone.
Is the calzone.
That's right.
The umamiest of zones.
Uh-huh. God, I could really go for a calzone.
Oh man, I could eat some calzones right now. Some chicken nugs, calzones. But wait, so does this thing have a wire that's like coming out of your mouth the whole time? Is it free? It is. So you're literally like, you've got something hanging out of your.
It has to be connected to Goop, and it has to be connected to the computer that's going to send the delivery. Right.
Well, I thought potentially Goop compartments and Wi-Fi. Yeah, I thought maybe there were little Goop compartments, like I'm imagining, Spidey's web shooters.
Sure.
Little cartridges that you can put in this thing in little, here's what I'm imagining.
Okay.
You remember when you were in like 4th grade?
Yes.
And you got that pen that had like 6 colors?
Yeah, the Archie Fun Club pen.
Yeah, and you could press down whichever color you want.
Yeah.
That's what I'm imagining, but each of those colors is a different flavor profile.
Sure.
And Wi-Fi just sends a remote signal and goes, and that little shoot of goop goes in your mouth.
Well, I'm sure that certainly we could get to a point, if this was part of a virtual reality experience, there's no reason those flavor packets couldn't be on the strap of your headset as like a counterweight almost, right?
Yes.
And then the main delivery straw connected to the headset. And then
what if you had
what
if it was like a hat that had like 2 giant compartments on either side?
No, keep going.
And then a straw into the mouth.
The straw should be, if I may, crazy.
Yeah.
Like some sort of a crazy
the straw goes into the VR goggles around the periphery of each of them.
Uh-huh.
And then into the
Happy
mouth.
2008 is what it says.
Happy 2008. That's right. That's right.
So I would imagine that there will be different delivery systems available, but right now it's got to be connected to the fluids. It's got to be connected. Remember that
when this thing catches on like wildfire.
You're talking about the consumer implementation. This is the research implementation. When NVIDIA comes out and they're like, here's the video card for you to play your video games on.
Yeah.
Here's the separate video card we make for the U.S. Army to target people and throw bombs at them.
Right.
This is the one that's for the U.S. armies in some way. For
right.
taste-based warfare.
The Cybertruck that we announced is the one that you can't throw a metal ball through the window of, but the one we're showing
not
you,
metal ball. Remember, it's a baseball. That was a normal human baseball.
Just a regular
that was a
baseball.
Normal baseball thrown.
The
thrown
one
by a
we
man
designed,
who looks like he has the arms of a spider.
That's right. That's right. The one we designed will stop that baseball, but this one here, not so much.
Sort of. It's sort of like that. In that we needed to get our one Elon Musk dig in. So, so in that way, it's a lot like it. Jeff, they conducted a number of tests. Jeff, do you know where this amazing technology, this world-changing technology comes from, Jeff?
Germany? I'm going to guess Germany.
No, remember, this is a U.S.-based team.
Oh, U.S.-based team.
I understand that because it's based on taste, You would think of the refined palate of the German.
That's exactly where I went.
I don't know anything about the palates of German people.
They like beer?
Again,
I don't know.
I don't know.
So you're saying where in the country, where in the United States?
This was an educational institution, Jeff, here in the United States.
I'm going to say Northwestern in Chicago.
That's a great guess because of their love of taste.
It's where the
Chicago has the deep
sausage
dish.
That's
they have
right.
the sausages.
Yeah.
They have the restaurant that yells at you. They love taste. They love food. No, Jeff. This comes from, of course, Ohio State University. Go Buckeyes, go Cleveland.
Go Buckeyes. All right. The Ohio State University.
That's right. We've done it again. Cleveland has done it again, baby.
Nothing says squirt in your mouth.
Don't
like
you
Cleveland,
denigrate
Ohio.
a single fucking thing that came out of Ohio. I will lay you out right here. The team conducted at Ohio State University conducted 10 tests where volunteers were asked to sample different sour intensities in the liquids generated by the system, with the results revealing that they were able to do so with an overall accuracy rate of 70%.
Wait, so the test is identify what this flavor is or identify how sour it is?
Identify the sour intensity from like 1 to 10, and they were able to like get from
they
everything.
dialed it in.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, we're going to give them an 8. And they're like, it's an 8.
Yeah, that feels like an 8.
That's cool.
In another 6 tests, volunteers were asked to sample different combination of liquids containing the flavor chemicals, and the combinations were designed to represent 5 different edible items.
That's what I want. See, now, because that's what I was worried about, is it's like, this is kind of sour. This is very sour. It's cool that you can dial in the sourness.
Yeah.
But what I want, and what we all want, let's be frank, is squirt, squirt. Now I'm, it's that scene from Willy Wonka. It's
Yes.
like, blueberry pie. Oh, and now I'm tasting a steak dinner.
Yep.
There's the mashed potatoes.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what we want.
That's what we want. That's what we want. We want the Violet Beauregard.
That's right.
Give us the full Beauregard.
Full Beauregard.
Including the inflation bit at the end.
And roll her right down the hall.
God.
Yeah.
How many fetishes do you think that started? Because that movie's been around since the 70s.
Not a small number.
Not a small
Also,
number.
isn't it wild how literally every technology from that movie is just eventually being made? You know what I mean? Like we're just stepping through them, you know?
Yeah. We first of all, velvet jackets.
That's right. Yeah.
We don't have the wallpaper that you lick, because I do feel like that is a sanitary issue.
True.
That is a sanitation issue, but this technology supersedes it, I think.
That's true. This is step 1.
Yeah, you don't need the snozberries to taste like snozberries on your wall when you have this flavor paddle delivery device shoved into your mouth.
Flavor paddle? Is that the name?
No, that's what I'm calling it. I'm calling it the flavor paddle. So here are the 5 different items that they were asked to taste.
All right.
Lemonade.
Okay. All right. A lot of the citric acid, a little sour, a little sweet in there.
It's a taste, but it also has a physical feeling, a good glass of lemonade.
Yeah. I like it.
Cake. Just like a vanilla cake. Yeah.
All right.
Fried egg.
Wow.
Coffee.
Okay.
And fish soup. Not fish. Fish soup.
That is sophisticated stuff. I was not expecting it to be. I thought it was going to be more general stuff like candy or, meat. I thought, but the idea that
welcome, human. Enjoy the meat taste.
What does it taste like? It tastes like meat. We did it.
We did it, everyone. High fives all around. These people will have batteries in the next 10 years.
Fried egg feels very sophisticated.
Fried egg and fish soup. The fact that it's like, it's not fish. It's not like a tomato soup. It's a fish soup.
Well, let's be frank. Everything is going to be soup. It's cake soup. It's fried egg soup.
Sure.
Let's be real.
That's true. They were asked to taste the liquid and select what they thought it represented. And overall, they completed the task with an accuracy rate of 87%.
Was it multiple choice though? Like,
I think they were just asked.
All right.
I think
like 87% of the people said fish soup.
That's what's crazy, right? Like, I don't know. I don't know.
Fish, wait, soup.
There it is. There it is. Here's the thing, Jeff. There are 2 different flavors that the machine cannot crack. They have not figured it out yet.
What?
Are you ready?
Impossible flavors?
The impossible flavors, Jeff. And I don't know. These to me, these are more taste sensations, I would say. Spiciness.
Okay. Well, it feels like you just need another goop.
Yeah, like a capsaicin goop.
Yeah.
And then fattiness, which I feel is more a texture and a feeling. Like you can definitely taste when something is fatty, but I think there is a texture that comes along with that.
Because I feel like
even if it's not like marbled with fat, like just the fact that fat is there changes the texture.
Agreed. I can understand that. I mean, I guess there's a certain level of fattiness in a fried egg flavor.
Yeah.
Am I crazy to say that?
No, you're right. I think a good fried egg should have that greasy fat.
A little fattiness. Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting that they can't crack those. But they can do others. They can what's the upper bound of this? I mean, are we talking? Can we?
What's the spice? What's the spiciest, fattiest thing you can imagine? And that's where they want to be. That's where they want to be.
But like the stuff they can do, can we get like
they want ghost pepper lard? The ultimate the ultimate recreation would be everyone's favorite dinner snack. Ghost pepper lard.
Yeah.
Here's my thing. I mean, look, there is my mind immediately goes completely dystopian on this.
Yeah.
Like obviously, oh good, don't worry, human. The paste tastes like whatever you want it to taste like, and it gives you all your nutrients. Like obviously I hate that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I did live off of Soylent for 1.5 years. So fuck me. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
What am I talking about? I literally did that.
Literally did that.
I literally did that. It's like, congratulations, your nutrients taste like chocolate. You're an idiot. So, but there's this idea of like, oh, cool, this will allow anything to taste like anything. And, even if you can't afford a fancy meal, you can have a fancy meal. And it's like, okay, but like, does this end with us strapped into virtual reality chairs, sucking paste out of a tube? I don't know. But
and you say that like it's a bad thing.
Buddy, brain in a jar, eyes in a headset, tube in a mouth. That's all I want. If what I'm experiencing, I'm Joey Pantoliano. We've talked about this before.
That's right.
I'm Joey Pants.
Steak tastes like steak.
That's right.
Yeah.
I don't care. But the other side of me thinks about this in a really fun, goofy way, right? Like, I think of this not as a useful thing, but as a thing where it's like, go to play a game and like, what are the crazy flavors this game is gonna like put into your mouth? Or like, what are the like, ew? It's like when you have the Jelly Belly beans and you get the bad one,
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, this one tastes
Jelly Belly the game.
Yeah. Oh, this one tastes like vomit. I pushed a button and like,
Yeah.
But it's silly. It's novelty, right? And something that this made me think of, Jeff, is it made me think about all the times that this sort of thing has been shown off at, say, a CES. Mm-hmm. You and I, we were in the technology game for a few years. I went to my share of CESs, and I feel like there was always a booth, particularly for smell.
Smell, yeah.
Smell was the big, even before VR caught on, there was this whole thing of like, you should be able to go and watch a video on a website and you should be able to smell what the people are smelling because smell is connected to taste and it's so much more of our senses than we've ever known and like blah, 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 blah. There's always a company selling this and you have to buy incense discs and put them in a headset and sniff and like, and they're like trying to create a markup language for smell.
There's that one company that does the tabletop D&D candles.
Yes.
Have Have you seen that where it's like it smells like a dungeon? It smells like
A tavern.
an ogre.
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like, yeah, it is evocative. Like nobody's saying that smell and taste aren't evocative. And I do find that there's something interesting about like when I was talking to one of these companies that was doing the smell thing, they were talking about having to like write a markup language for smell, right? Like they would give you, it's sort of like when you get, if you're a game developer and you get, and you're making a game for the PlayStation, right? And the PlayStation has those haptic feedback controllers. PlayStation gives you a bunch of pre-made haptic things, right? They give you something that feels like something like a little mouse is running around in your controller. They give you something that feels like, you know, like a big rumble of a tank is rolling by. They give you pre-made sensations. And these companies were talking about how they would give pre-made smell sensations, right? But then
sometimes I give a pre-made smell sensation.
It's a terrible sensation.
Pre-made.
That's why we do this remote now.
That's right.
But then the developers could take those pre-mades and mix them and create their own. The idea of converting smell and taste into math is incredibly fascinating to me.
That is wild. Yeah, that there's an equation with these 5 goops that gets you to fried egg is friggin' awesome. Like that is truly cool, I think.
Yeah, and we've talked a bit about this before, like food science, like candy that tastes like fruit, like anything.
Right. Yeah.
You know, any sort of flavor-based chemical that people are putting in your food is this sort of science.
Right.
But it's kind of interesting to watch it broken down into just 5 components. And it's just a numeric mix of these components.
Yeah.
And you could recreate anything. I could have Thai food for every food.
I think, unfortunately, though, at least the first stabs at this are all going to be gross out stuff, right?
Yes.
It's all going to be like, how extreme can you get? How grossed out can you get?
I think that's the fun part.
We're going to make you eat brains. We're going to make you eat, you know.
Dude, you know, I've been wanting to know about human flesh. Dude, I'm so, like, listen, I know this is a weird thing. I get it. Everybody who listens to the show thinks this is weird, and they talk about it in the Discord.
And the government thinks it's weird, and that list that they put you on, and those questions that they called up and asked you, and that whole thing you had to fill out to register yourself in the state that you live in.
As an Army Hammer. I had to register myself as an Army Hammer. No, listen. It's a curiosity, and I think it's a natural one. And I'm not saying I'm going to hurt somebody or I'm going to eat somebody else's flesh. I've always said if I like lose a toe or a finger or like a chunk of leg or something like that.
Yeah.
I just want the chunk.
Just give me the chunk.
Just give me the chunk and I'll cook it. I'll cook up the chunk.
Uh-huh.
And I just want to know. Here's the thing, Jeff. This could possibly satiate my curiosity. Possibly.
Yeah. This could be Army Hammer's favorite VR game.
Yeah. What if, Jeff, you say you're not an adventurous eater. What if
I am?
No, but say you're not.
Okay. But I am though.
Okay. But say you're not. So you could, before you go to a restaurant and like try to force yourself. I think one of the things that happens to unadventurous eaters is they go out and they go, I'm going to step outside of my comfort zone, and they do it at a restaurant and they order something and it sucks and it's embarrassing for them and they don't eat it. And like the server's like, was that okay? And your friends are like, oh, did you not like it? Do you want a piece of mine? And everybody's like, and they're like, no, I'm fine. And internally they're like, I'm never going to do this again. It's chicky fingers for the rest of my life. What if you could try things in the safety of your own home and figure out your boundaries?
Go to our website.
Yeah.
You can make a reservation here.
Specifically our website. WeHaveConcerns.com.
That's right. WeHaveConcernsTheRestaurant.com.
Yeah.
Which we're branching out in. But you go to the restaurant's website. You can make a reservation.
Yeah.
Maybe you could try the menu. Taste a few things.
Try them out.
This week's menu features foie gras. Have you ever had it? Here's a little tasty taste.
you could even do something where it's like, okay, I know that you like chicky fingers, French fries, pasta, butter noodles, right? These are the things you like, right?
Because I'm 6.
Right, because you're 6, and or you're just a weird eater, and like, okay, let's see what we can do. You like butter, you like cacio e pepe. Let's see what happens if we dial that up a little bit and we turn it into like a cream sauce. Can you do it? What happens if we turn it into like a marinara? Can you do it? Can we add like a little bit of mushroom? Is it going to weird you out? Like, let's see. I think that's cool. Here's what I think is the big problem that this technology is going to have.
Other than a paddle in your mouth.
You have a paddle in your mouth is number 1. Number 2, it's fucking useless. Number 3, so much of taste is texture.
Yeah.
And
smell.
I like the taste of tomato. I don't like to bite into a tomato. That's texture. I think most of the things that I dislike in food are texture based.
Yeah. Yeah. And conversely, sometimes texture is real additive. And if it's like, oh, I love how it has a little walnut in it. And, oh, that's so good.
Gives it a little
crunches.
bite.
Yeah.
Get that out.
No, you're right. You're right. But I don't think that invalidates what we've been saying as far as, using this almost therapeutically to sort of step outside your comfort zone.
Sure.
I think, you could be like, oh, I do like that taste. And then you taste it. It's like, I liked it, but I didn't like the texture of the tomato.
Now, Jeff, going in, now I'm thinking about the texture. I'm thinking about these things.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about what we were talking about with the nutrition paste. Let's go one step back from nutrition paste to where it's still cool. Jeff, what if I told you these 5 flavor packets in the right mix, 3D printer?
What do you mean?
So,
we're 3D printing the what are we 3D printing an item?
Imagine, if you will, Jeff, as I lean back here in my chair.
An edible item?
Yeah, we're printing an edible item. Maybe in addition to these flavor packets, we are also talking about a printer that is something like we're talking about. Maybe it's something that is like a gelatin or a cornstarch or both or something. It's a mix, right? I don't know what the mix is going to be, but imagine, if you will, those things that you got when you were a kid, or those like Poppin' Kitchen gummy candies that you can get now, where you like mix the chemicals together. And it's like, oh my God, I made a plate of spaghetti. It doesn't taste like spaghetti. It tastes like a fucking gummy candy.
Right.
But Jeff, printing your own foods that taste the way you want, that look the way you want. We're talking about, imagine brutalist architecture that tastes like a cheeseburger.
You're describing the Star Trek replicator.
Well, the replicator makes it look like the thing, though.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, just because that it always has in the show doesn't mean it has to, right?
You could make. I mean, I guess you could say tea Earl Grey hot, but I want it to look like a plate of SpaghettiOs.
Yeah,
just a giant plate of SpaghettiOs, and when I eat it, it should taste like Earl Grey tea. This is fun, actually. I like this.
I mean, this is pretty rad. The idea of mixing and matching flavors and shapes.
Yeah, dude.
That's pretty cool.
Mixing flavors and shapes, that's kid cuisine, baby.
That is kid cuisine. I mean, the Play-Doh Corporation would have a field day with this.
Oh, please. Right, listen, no longer would the Tyson Corporation have a stranglehold on chicken nuggets that look like dinosaurs.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
That's
Any food now could look like a dinosaur.
Yeah.
Imagine going to your kids with a plate of food.
Yeah.
That is simply the nutritional content and taste of vegetables, but is dinosaur. Yeah. Eat this brontosaurus. It tastes like what it ate itself.
Yeah. This broccoli looks like a dinosaur and tastes like cake.
Is the brontosaurus, what is broccoli about? The brontosaurus is a diplodocus now.
Is it really?
Yeah, I don't think brontosaurus is real, right?
Apatosaurus. What is a apatosaurus? I thought that was a brontosaurus.
That's a thing. Yeah, an apatosaurus is a thing. I've heard of it. What about what about the one that was created by for Chris Pratt to fight. Is that that was real dinosaur?
No.
Are you sure?
No. Hey, just a real good rule of thumb. Anything that Chris Pratt does is not based on reality.
And that includes his personal life. Listen.
Exactly.
What about the one that Scarlett Johansson fight?
We haven't seen that one yet.
Well, I mean, we saw a little bit. Do you think that's real? What do you think it tastes like? Do you think it could taste like a chicken nugget?
I think it should. I bet all the dinosaurs tasted real stringy. But also they had feathers, so maybe they were like chicken.
Yeah, what if you could eat a dinosaur without the stringiness, Jeff? That's what this technology is asking us.
That's the promise of this technology.
The promise of this technology is all killer, no filler, except it's all filler. It's literally all filler.
I want to suck on this paddle.
Yeah, okay. Go on.
Whilst playing some sort of immersive world sim, I want to be in the Middle Ages. I want to swing my sword and raise my shield, and then I want to hoist a mug of mead and chomp down on a turkey leg.
Hey, buddy, you've had a hard day. Forget the mug. You can get yourself a whole flagon.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? You've really put in the work. About a whole flagon of virtual mead.
I only have 6 gold.
Yeah,
so,
sure. Sure. But I think the townspeople are grateful for what you've done.
For all my deeds.
Yeah. For all your sick deeds. Look, I think there's also interesting non-food related things that could be done with this. I mean, when I think about adding the smell and taste to games or to movies, think about like the feeling of a smoky room without actually the stinging or the smoke inhalation or the bad things that go along with smoke inhalation. Just like the feeling of the slight taste and the breathing, and you're just like, ooh, I'm there. It's smoky.
This could really revolutionize the whole D-Box experience.
Dude, I was thinking about D-Box the whole time. Look, the first time that these kinds of technologies were created, Jeff, we're talking about the late 1950s when Hans Laube, German, knows something about taste.
Yeah, not a coincidence.
Invented the smell-o-vision.
Yeah.
Right? And then...
That's right. Scratch and sniff on the back of the seat.
That's right. Released scents during a film so the viewer could smell what was happening. And then there was Aromarama, invented by Charles Weiss at the same time, that put scents through the air conditioning system of a theater.
And killed everyone.
Yeah, it was unfortunately very poisonous.
I actually have experienced this recently. I went to a press screening of the movie Heretic.
Yeah.
And no spoilers for Heretic, but blueberry pie plays a big role in Heretic. And at this press screening, which happened to be at the Alamo Draft House here in Denver, when the blueberry pie moment came on, they pumped the smell of blueberry pie into the theater. So we all smelled it, and they didn't tell us they were going to do that. But it was very, very potent and cool. And then later, they brought us all little blueberry pies because, Alamo, they can serve you food during the middle of the movie. They brought us all slices of blueberry pie.
And after the movie, that was not disturbing?
No.
You just ate the pie?
You know who I am. I'm going to eat the pie.
Yeah, you were like looking at the person next to you. You're like, if you're not going to eat your pie.
Yeah.
If you're
the movie.
If you're disgusted by the metaphor of the pie, I can.
That's right. I got that. I got you.
Don't worry.
Yeah. Now, you're just going to let that pie go to waste?
Now, not knowing that the smell was coming in, though.
Yeah.
Not knowing that it was going to happen, did it surprise you, pull you out of the film a bit?
Yes, in that there was definitely some odor that was happening. That smells really good. That smells really sweet. What's happening? And then the movie is like blueberry pie, and you put it together in that moment. But there is definitely a moment of, this is unusual.
Yeah, I think you need to know that it's going to happen before you go in. But that's cool that they did that.
It was very, very cool. It actually really added, it was a very memorable moment.
And that's the thing is, like, I do understand that, like, our brain loves to connect all sorts of different sensory stuff, and that's what makes something memorable. And by memorable, I don't necessarily mean interesting or whatever. I just mean memorable in that it makes it able to create a memory. And I think taking advantage of that would certainly behoove people who make media, who make games. I'm just like, is this the sort of thing that you can get people to buy in there? Because immediately I'm thinking,
No.
I have a subscription to flavor packets.
No, there's no universe where this catches on.
I've got to clean this. I've got to clean this paddle. What if there are multiple people in my house that want to use the thing?
Yeah.
How much does each paddle cost? And I know they're not thinking about it that way. Right now, they're mostly doing research with it, but that's the way it's heading, right?
I mean, it's hard enough to get people to put a headset on their eyes. You know, you're gonna now open your mouth and put this thing in that you put in yesterday.
Yeah, that's a real trust. That's real trusting.
Yeah, that's going to be a hard pill to swallow if you catch my drift.
And it's only going to taste like a pill. You don't have to swallow it. Imagine the feeling of that pill that's coming apart in your mouth and you can't quite swallow it because you don't have a glass of water nearby. You know, that sour medicine taste. All the feeling of not being able to swallow a pill without actually the relief of swallowing the pill.
Well, that's the other part is that, you know, I play a role-playing game for 60 hours. How much of that is eating stuff? You know? 45 minutes?
Dude, but that's actually kind of cool. Like when you run out of, like, imagine, okay, right now I'm playing a lot of Monster Hunter. Like,
sure. And there's food plays a big part in that game.
Food plays a huge part, but when you run out of food, you've got to eat like bugs and shit. Now, let's talk about this 120-hour game where sometimes you're eating this magical feast that's made of creatures that don't even exist, and the most delicious of spices and stuff. And then you're crawling around in the fucking muck and you're about to die and it's cold and it smells like shit and you eat a bug.
I mean, that is pretty compelling. That's a pretty amazing. Like,
why
the
is that compelling? Why is that compelling to us? It's a gross experience.
Well, there's something really, I think, immersive about that. There's something like the trade-off of there's something I can do that will get me something beneficial in this game, but I have to endure something repugnant. There's an actual there's actually something I have to give up, and that is my comfort.
We are dying for true life experiences right now in human history, aren't we?
Yeah.
We are screaming for true life experiences. That's the other thing that this thing is telling me is like, imagine you can sit at your computer and feel something.
It does sound very far-fetched. Oh
God.
The question I have for you, Anthony, is this the third sense? Like, if you had to put in your priority list of which sense comes next to the virtual environment, are you going taste next?
I think it's haptics first. I think
it's got to be touch, right?
Touch. That's the real thing that's missing from, like, the big thing that's missing from virtual reality is even now that virtual reality stuff has like hand control, it can see your fingies and you can grab things in VR with your fingies. Like, I can grab a large ball or an orange or something, and I can grab it, but then I can also just keep moving my fingers into a full fist.
Right.
And the guy is still holding it. And I want that resistance. I think that's the next thing that I would want is touch.
Yeah.
Because touch also opens up a lot of things, I think, in terms of day-to-day interfaces for devices that we're missing. Not just for us, but also as an assistive technology for people who can't see, can't hear. There are a lot of things, like, we're getting there. Like, when you touch the little haptic keyboard on things and it feels like a button or whatever, like, that's kind of cool. We're kind of getting there. But I think when we have the ability to actually feel a button, feel a control panel, there was this great video that I think it was The Verge did the other day that was about, like, people rebelling against touchscreens. We're tired of touchscreens. Particularly in things like cars, where it's like, I can't control anything in my car if I don't look down at the touchscreen and I go through 3 menus. I need a button or a dial. Like, that's what buttons and dials are for.
I just saw that. I think the EU was saying they just came out with a new standard that said if you want to get the perfect safety rating on your car, you have to have a minimum number of actual buttons.
Yeah.
Like it can't be just touch screen because it's just unsafe to be like, am I touching the right thing? You know?
Yeah. And you don't know without looking down at it. And so, and as our phones have been all touched, like I remember that there was one year when somebody was like putting out overlays that went on touch screens. I think many companies have done this throughout the years, but there was like one company that put out an overlay where it was like a screen protector with indents where like buttons of a controller would be, right?
Yeah.
And it matched up with touchscreen controls in games so you could feel where the buttons were. Because even something as simple as interacting with a game on your phone is a nightmare, right?
Yeah, I agree.
One of the things I remember about like having physical keyboards on phones is I could look up while I was texting and talk to somebody and text and still be paying attention to that person. Whereas now it's like we're all looking down all the time. I think
and stopping
stuff,
texting is just not an option.
It's not an option, dude.
No,
it's not an option. Sorry.
I want to be able to maintain eye contact while I'm texting someone.
You're lucky that while we're having a conversation, I don't have my phone next to you playing Subway Surfers. You're lucky. Okay?
I do feel the privilege of that.
And I'm saying that to everyone in my life, not just you. Every one of you is lucky I don't pull two phones out, put them next to you on either side, and one is Subway Surfers and one's a guy cutting soap. Just so I can listen to you. You're lucky I just want to text.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. But I think haptics is the next big thing. If you can put on a VR headset and walk around a model of something and move it around and feel it and like be pushing buttons and be changing things, I think that's the most useful and interesting one. Plus
pet virtual doggos.
Pet virtual doggos. My mind was going into the opposite direction. I was going to say it will certainly make a lot of money due to the porn.
Yeah. Well, there's already that, like, I don't know, but there's evidently, but there's already that, like, those things where it'll like map your movement one to one, so you can be far away from someone, and it'll like, it has a virtual tongue or whatever it is.
Yeah. And now that virtual tongue can excrete taste molecules.
We've gotten there.
We
did it.
I
Baby,
think,
how much umami am I?
Wow. Wow. That seems like the good place to end it. Thank you so much to, of course, good old Synergy Mansfield for sending this one in. Hey.
That's right.
Synergy doesn't have to be doing all the heavy lifting. And you know what? It's not even heavy lifting. It's just sharing cool things you find with other cool folks.
Yeah. And if you think that you've heard cool stuff on this show, you should see. Anthony got real cool by putting his sunglasses on. There's a whole bunch of stories that don't even make it to the show that are still cool and interesting and just may not be, not have the right taste profile to make it onto our show. But you can find them in the Discord, but the Discord is an exclusive club.
And the only way to get access to that club is to give us $1. Only $1. Give us your lunch money, kid. Basically, all you do is you head to patreon.com/wehaveconcerns and you sign up to support the show at $1 a month or more. $1 gets you access to that Discord. As you go up to $3, $5, and a little bit more, you get more stuff like bonus episodes of the show, bonus videos, Q&As. It's all very cool, and it is the only way that we support the show and keep it running. So we really appreciate y'all keeping us from having to go into the the mattress that comes in a box mines, or the or the food kit mines. We appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
And besides, food kits are done now that we can create any taste that we want. So you might as well support us. Patreon.com/wehaveconcerns.